call this meeting of the Brown County Commission to order. We'll start by saying the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, before we get into our first agenda item, we wanted to recognize 5 employees of Brown County for their years of service. They were recognized last week at our annual conference, and we wanted to do so here as well. Some of them were able to make it this morning, I think. We've got Richard Dick Schuley from the museum for 25 years of service. Are you here, Dick?
He's on his way.
Okay.
They can't find him in the building.
Oh, gotcha.
You're Dick, right?
Still working.
There he is. Yeah, there he is.
They're looking
All
for
right.
you, man.
25 years. We sure appreciate it.
Good. How are you, Dick?
There you go. Congratulations. Thanks for everything you've done for us.
Thank you. Hello, Sheriff.
Second, 25 years, Tom Fishback. Hard to believe, right? Seems like just yesterday, right?
Oh, thanks.
Also for the museum, we've got Sherry Rostern. How are you? Thanks a lot.
Thank you. That's 25 years.
Fourth, for 30 years of service, we've got John McQuillan, our communications director. It's been easy peasy, right,
Yeah.
Tom? Thanks for everything you do.
Thank you.
And fifth, we've got Sheila Anderson, our county treasurer, for 40 years of service to Brown County. Thanks a lot, Sheila.
Thank you, Sheila.
If everybody would gather up here real quick, I think they wanted to grab a quick picture.
They want you in the picture.
Sheila stepped ahead. There you go. The curtain was.
Sure, now's the shirt.
1, 2, 3. Thanks a lot, you guys. Appreciate it.
Congratulations, everyone. Thanks for your years of service.
Not fun.
Thank you. Thanks for coming over.
Thanks, Dick. See ya. Sure, congratulations. Thank you. Thanks, Sheila. Congratulations, Tom.
First on our agenda, we've got Paul Myers to discuss an application for solid waste permit. Thanks for being with us. What do we got going on?
My son's been working on this for a while, and I told him to go for it. And
I'm Dan DeHaan, the engineer for Healing.
Say that again?
I'm Dan DeHaan. I'm the engineer, plant engineer for Demcota Beach.
Okay.
or the beef plant, we'll just say is plain language. They've started drying their solid waste.
Yeah, I can probably go a little bit more detail.
Go ahead.
Yeah, would you? Why don't you want to come sit right up here if you don't mind?
Yeah, I can.
Thanks, Dan.
What it is we currently have 3 forms of solid waste that we produce at the plant. And the 3 forms of solid waste are paunch manure, and then we have stockyard manure, and then we have what's coming off a pre-treatment solid manure. What we call a dissolved air flotation device, and it's basically solids that gets pulled out of there. And currently we have 2 people that we haul that manure to. One is we can give it to Spring Creek. They're under agreement with the Spring Creek Colony. And then we also have TDO, Todd Oshner. That's where we also provide. Paul has come to us, and he's a little bit closer than the other guys from a mileage thing, and says that he's interested in taking the same product. And so he has to follow. The other 2 clientele actually have confined animal feeding operations, so we actually work through their CAFO permit to distribute that waste. Paul, because he doesn't have a confined animal feeding operation, we have to go through the solid waste permit. Somewhat similar to I came in earlier about spreading our liquid waste, but I haven't necessarily got any bites, long-term bites on that yet. So we're still proceeding on that area. But Paul would like to take it from the solid waste standpoint. In the meantime, to do that, he has to build enough storage to meet the state requirement, what the other 2 clientele have, and then he has to do the same nutrient management planning the other two clientele have to ensure that the waste is applied on that agronomically meets requirements. It's really the same as a CAFO, it's just managed by two different divisions in South Dakota DNR.
Can I ask a question? Because just yesterday, I had multiple questions. This waste, you call it solid waste?
Correct.
Is this what the complaints I'm getting about sloshing out?
It had been, but we had, and that was more of our transporter, but they are now hauling it in a box trailer, and it's sealed on the back end. Basically the same way we haul out our rendering process. They're very similar. Initially, the colony was using side dumps, and based off that, they were having some issues of traveling too fast, around corners too fast. The current trailer we're using, we don't have that issue.
Good, because the complaint I had yesterday, they made it sound like it was current and that it was dangerous to motorcycles and all this. And I'm on the road and I haven't seen it, but then...
Right now, it'd be going down 12 all the way to Roscoe, because it's going to Oshner. We aren't sending any of Spring Creek. And the only reason we kept Spring Creek on is for inclement weather, because they have a concrete storage bed.
But that's not happening anymore because they have different containers.
Yeah, different containers. We required them to put better seals on them, and the seals are tight, so we should not. If you're seeing it, you need to report it to us.
Well, that's what I told them. Why tell me? But
yeah, you need to call me and let me know, and so I can crack down on our contract hauler, because it's his responsibility.
Thank you. I'll get a card from you before you leave.
So you set the standards to haul it, but they're responsible for doing
They're responsible for hauling it from there to Todd Oshner.
Yeah.
And it isn't Todd's not the contractor either. It's a separate contractor with a plan.
Thank you. Thank you. That's my question.
But Paul's a lot closer, and so I think from that standpoint, it probably meets our needs a little bit better. And so we want alternatives than just tying ourselves to one boat, because Roscoe's about 55 miles away.
Well, what kind of a place will you have for them to put it on?
We've got, I read through all of this, but this is preliminary now. We're working on this. That's why we're here first. We've got a piece of ground, basically flat pasture, that's about 5 miles northwest of the landfill. Got no running water, no surface wells on it. Only a couple small wetlands on it. So it's clean from that, and it's grass. And it's rundown. It's tough ground. It needs nutrition, but like I say, the freight's right, the dollars are right. If we put all these fine points together, and like I say, we have to soil. If we do go into something, from what the paperwork tells me, we have to soil test it like twice a year to make sure they don't have too much of anything or anything that's naughty. And the product needs to be tested also that's being delivered by the state.
So is that just spread on top of the ground?
Right.
Has that got a smell?
Never had. That's why I'm investigating it.
It's going to have a smell like feed yard manure.
I was wondering how the neighbors are going to...
Right. See, our closest neighbor is about 3 miles.
Really?
Yes. That's what kind of makes it work. I mean,
that would help.
Yes, that's right.
I didn't hear the first part of that. Is this paunch?
Yes.
It would be a mixture of paunch. It's paunch. It would be paunch, stockyard manure, and what we call DAF manure.
What comes off the float off the...
Float up the DAF.
Where
We mix
specifically is that going to be?
From junction, if you went to the junction, it's in Ravinia Township. You went to the junction of 281 and Richmond Road.
Okay.
8 miles west.
8 miles.
We're about 2 miles west of the park and a mile south of Richmond State Park. Or from Mike Schaefer's curve there.
Yep.
It's like 3 miles west of there, I believe.
You know what the legal is on that?
I can tell you. You also have a flash here.
So you're still in Ravinia Township?
Yes.
Still.
You're in
Section 20, 29, somewhere in there?
Yeah, it's just a second. I'll There's Peterson. Oh, we're in 32. Northeast 1/4 of 32.
So we're right next to Mercer Township.
No.
We're near it.
Right, we're north. Yes, we're a mile north of Mercer. We're probably about 4 miles, probably 5 miles from the Webb Tower north of Mina. Right in between, you might say Mina, Richmond, the straight west on Richmond Road.
Okay, and you said you're about 3 miles from people? The only reason I'm
Yes,
asking
no,
is
no
because I
problem.
remember that bog thing, and I see Pettigrew's and Lyle Kessler are within a mile of that.
Land, but they don't live there. There's nobody living there. That's just,
I was just looking
right,
at
right, no
Platbook.
problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Platbook says John Pettigrew lives at one, and Jerry lives at another, and Lyle lives over there.
You can't see a house or building site from the property anywhere.
They're not, yeah. I'm just looking at.
No problem, not a problem.
So this gets approved today. If it does, then what's the next process?
Well, the next
State
process, we got to go
approval?
back to the state. I mean, this
Okay.
is just initial plan. We're still 4 to 6 months out. It's probably next year's
Yep, yep.
planning cycle.
Yep.
Plus, he has to have a certain amount of storage because of the legal requirement. Is, they currently have to have 270 days storage.
Do we have any say whether you do that or not?
Yeah, that's why we have to go through the county.
We do have to approve.
Yeah, you
Right.
have to approve it.
You'd be the first to go ahead or stop, you know, you got the right to nay or say yea or
We can
nay.
come back to you too. This isn't our only visit.
So the governing agency, I take it, is the state, is the one that
Correct.
oversee this,
South-
would have to monitor this and see what's going on with it?
Yeah, South Dakota DNR will monitor.
Right here.
Any other questions?
Because we do get reports back from all the other feedlots in the county, I know that.
Right.
You said you had to have a 270-day storage
That's correct.
capacity? Okay.
That's what's required in the solid waste permit.
So is that a concrete
Well,
bunker?
in this case, based on him, it can be concrete or clay-based storage, and then you have to have a retention pond to catch all the rainfall that runs off.
Okay.
Or you can build a cover to it,
Sure,
and then you can minimize the storage pond, as one or the other.
sure. Okay.
And the other two, the clientele, they are required to have the same thing under their capital.
Okay.
Do you anticipate taking 12 over to 6 coming up and over? Just thinking road-wise.
I would say,
Might be
Either
the,
take 12 and go north, or, it's like I say, the springtime year would be tough because load limits, because you got 6-ton road, you're surrounded by 6-ton roads.
Yep.
Either going west on there, we'd probably have to come either north past the landfill, you know, or north of Mina.
sure. Any other questions?
How many loads a day do you anticipate?
We run now 2 loads a day.
2 loads a day?
Two loads a day, and they aren't all the same thing. We're not allowed legally by South Dakota DNR to haul. We have to separate the product we haul into different trailers because it has to be weighed independently. It gets mixed at the site. It gets land applied at the site from that. But we have to, it's a state requirement to separate the material. So we're running 2 now, but we're running a third capacity.
Sure.
What are you running? The 500 a day?
We're close to 600 right now.
So you could be looking at 6 to 7 loads a day when you're at full capacity?
Could be, right.
Possibly.
Could be,
Okay.
as long as
Yeah.
as long as he's taking it all.
Exactly.
We have also had clientele that want to feed the ponds, and so it's just a matter of what we decide.
Sure. Okay.
Further questions on this application?
We approved this today, and a lot of people from that area come in and...
That's fine, that's their right, absolutely, good idea.
We got to approve it the second time? Is that what
I think, I'd have to go back and read the requirement. We have to have an individual meeting just to make you aware of it. And
That's
then,
right.
And then that's what this meeting is. This is the first step.
So we don't necessarily have to approve it today? This
No.
is just
Correct,
the-
correct.
So we have time to go look at the site.
Just some fact finding, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Good idea, that's,
This is the first step. We'll have to come back to you and get your final approval. Same thing if we decide to do the water irrigation. I still have to come back to you and get another approval.
Sure. Okay.
The only thing I think you approved was to get rid of that clean water we still have in the pond. So,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, if there's no action today, everybody wants to do a little research.
Good
Any other
idea.
questions while we got the folks here?
Thank you for making us aware of it.
Yes.
And thank you for answering the question that kept me
Yep.
busy all day.
well, I know, and those type of questions you need to direct back to us.
Well, I
That's
kept
our
direct.
responsibility to take care of it.
Sure.
At least, because sometimes we're unaware. But
you can't always control your employees. And your subcontractors and whatnot, that's hard to do.
It
We control what we ship out, and then it's a matter of are they following with their requirements.
Thank you.
And you need a card, you said, so.
I can check it.
If I can find the right one, I got 2 cards in.
Depends on who you want to be today.
Yeah.
I want the right one.
I own an engineering firm up in
Thank you very much.
North Dakota, so.
This is the one you get a hold of me at.
They're the same.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys
Thank
coming
you.
in. We'll be in touch here.
Yeah. That's,
Thanks, Dan.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I talked to the state the other day, and they said there's more than just one person looking at this too. So
Yeah,
definitely
there's a
more
lot of
people
people
coming.
looking at it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, 8:55, we've got Dirk Rogers, our superintendent for the highway, right-of-way occupancy for Northwestern Energy, and an update. What do you got, Dirk?
First thing is, well, good morning.
Good morning.
Right-of-way occupancy for Northwestern Energy. The only thing that's a little bit different about this one, it's going to be sitting there on the west side of 13W, clear on the west end, which is the road in front of the trailer park. So it'll be right now, west end in the corner, back up against the fence, you know. So that's all cool. The only thing that's different with these is they got risers coming up. There's one of these sitting right beside the highway department out there. This whole thing's about 39 feet, and it sits back against the fence. And you've got 2 series. I can't explain as to why it's like that, but this is basically, it's almost identical to what's sitting on the east side of the highway shop out there. So there's, the only reason that I'm even pointing it out more so is that there is something that's physically going to be sticking up there, you know, back by the fence line as far as the gas risers go. So, but other than that, it's Northwestern Energy. The location's good, and I don't see any problem with it.
Any questions on that right away?
I'll move approval.
Motion by Sutton, is there a second? Second by Feldheim. Any other discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Just wanted to, since I haven't been up here for a while, I'm going to use our map over here as a little bit of a guide. We're coming really close to wrapping things up. Got about a mile and a half. We're blottering in here yet, and a mile and a half we're paving. And then we have a mile to pave over at Claremont, and that's pretty much kind of where I'm going to stop for this year for the asphalt stuff. We didn't get on 9 and 7A as much done as I wanted to, but we'll hop back in there next year and try to finish them up. And there's a little piece in here that I kind of stood out there and went like this, and no matter how many times I look at it, I can't come up with a good answer yet, but it's okay for now. But that's something else that's going to get pushed back to next year. Other than that, we got this, bridges are back open, the one up at Hecla, the one west of Fernie, and
Is that open?
yep. Yeah, that was really fast. We've been screwing around for
I forgot that
a
one
week.
was closed when I come home from Sioux Falls the other day, so I hardly ever go that way. I thought, oh, go that way and check that road.
We had an
Bridge is
easy,
closed. I take a detour.
we had kind of an easier detour down there than we do someplace.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
It wasn't too bad.
No.
We had to dust proof for a few people that aren't used to having that many cars, but that bridge got back open, and I'm curious to see it when it gets inspected in a couple years, and curious on how it's gonna age, shall we say, since it's the first one of its kind built in a state like that. It's a modular bridge, and it came in 8 pieces, and
really?
they bolted it all together. We buy it right off our bid from Huron Tank and Culver sells them, and you just, like an erector set.
That's what we used to do when I was in the Army. When I was a combat engineer, we used to put those bridges
Yep.
together. About 8 pieces like that.
Well, if you're ever doing, you got a free afternoon and you want.
Kind of forgot how we did
Looking
that.
at
And road limit wise, they're structurally the same as any?
Yep, it's all signed off on. The only thing I would say, and the best analogy, and I'm totally guessing here, okay, because you're not going to know how it's performing till a few years down the road. But you ever go to one of the state institutions and look at a building that was built in like 1905, and then go and look at a building that was built in say 1970 or 1980? I mean, even an untrained eye can look at that and go, well, this one's going to last way longer, and pretty good chance that one's still in better shape than the new one. Well, that's sort of the same feeling I get when you go look at one of those old WPA bridges that, you know, isn't going anywhere, and then you kind of look at this, and I mean, it's all engineered and it's all cool, but the one thing is, I think, say 25 years from now, I'm curious as as to how much life you'll have left compared to a, you know, a full, like the one up here. You know, this one will probably be gone even before Fishback retires. I don't know. But
I've been getting re-energized.
So, but other than that, it's been pretty good. I want to do a little more milling, try to get some of this stuff milled in preparation for work next year. I'm going to do some gravel. I'm going to finish a little dirt out at the fairgrounds. Got to do a little dirt at Westport and up here by Frederick and stuff like that. But for the most part, we're kind of winding her down as far as the asphalt stuff goes.
How about 16? I haven't been down there to look.
They got it's all milled up, and they're benching in. They're taking the dirt from the hill that's right south of the cemetery, where we got a bar on that side, and they're taking that down and benching it in down on the bottom. When you're in that wet area, you kind of cut it vertically, cut it down square, and then they're hauling that new material in there to widen it out. That's basically where they're working now.
And then they'll raise it a foot, correct?
Yep. And then they're going to be putting actually, I think they got that the road is cut right now because they're putting the pipe in that go in down by the bridge to compensate for raising the road. We had to add a little more pipe capacity down there to offset that. So they're putting those in, I believe, today, and then we'll have to add them over there on 23 because you got to chase it downstream. But it seems to be going okay, and you know, if we couldn't have had somebody from town here, that is a really good contractor that we have down there. So it's pretty good. So yeah, it's been kind of quiet so far. We are going to have to go down there and gravel about 3 miles of township road for a little bit for a car detour, and there's one dirt road that we're going to have to build up because I know they're going to be hauling on it. Be the first mile west of 16. We got a really nice box culvert in there up on the north end, and then the road kind of is a little snaky. We'll build that up so they can get south there. But other than, it's been pretty quiet.
That's nice.
Good. Yeah, I like
They're
quiet.
happy.
Yeah, quiet's good.
11 east of Columbia looks really nice. I saw the guys were out there working on that yesterday.
Yep. Yeah, that's, you know, it's that whole deal from there up to Houghton. It's, the thing varied so much. Every mile is different in terms of what kind of shape it was in, how much you were going to have to do to get it back to being a serviceable road. So there's quite a mixture of processes that are on that, from the bank at Columbia around and all the way up to 10 at Houghton. But I'm just trying to maximize. Some of it got sealed, some of it's getting a blotter, some of it's getting a little thin overlay, and we'll just kind of see how it does and go from there. 18 is actually a test strip. 18 going north of Daly Corner up to Houghton has 4 different things on it, and I want to see how they perform. We also put a lot of time and money and effort into the base on that. I'm kind of committed to doing that. It's going to cost more money, but when we're in the scenario where the road has failed and we know that it doesn't have enough gravel, I mean, it's nuts to not address that. And even if it pushes some things back a year or two, or I think that's, we spent a lot of time when I was here before patching over stuff that we're just taking care of the symptoms. We're not addressing the actual issue, and I think we just got to start doing that. There's
on a good base, you can be back to
what's the
every
point?
year.
And there's other places where we put blotters on it. I'm trying to see if you can get 2 or 3 years out of that, you know, before we go back. And so I don't know, but I really want to address bases if we're going to continue to spend this much on asphalt, you know.
You gonna grind any more 10 up, starting south, north?
Yep. That's part of my little fall project here. I wanted to start, because that's actually the last thing I wanted to do, because it's closest to town, and when it gets cold we can bring the stuff into the yard, you know. There's that one, and then 18, 4 miles north and south, the Granary Road, 4 miles north and south of US 12. Those are the 2 main ones that I want to see if we can still get some of that chewed up this fall. Dave Bruckner told me to ask if you want that road bladed yet.
It's all right. It's got a little bit, but I mean, I don't know.
We're scared to see what happens.
What happens if you blade it up?
I know. So we'll go as long as we can without it being a problem, and then we'll have to do kind of.
The only thing is, now when it rained the other day, I had an inch 10 up there the other night, and the water sets in the grooves now. I don't know if that.
Yeah, that'll eventually be a problem. So, okay. Well, he said, well, ask Doug what he thought about it. So.
Well, it's very good compared to what it was, but I mean, it's one of those things where
Yeah.
I'm new to what would happen if they blade that ground asphalt.
I know.
I've never seen it done, so
Yeah.
Did you say that was the game plan, to keep going south on 10?
Eventually, yeah. Well, not even eventually. I'd like to get some of that done this fall. I hate those transitions. I don't like we come off asphalt onto the gravel. So how far is that anyway? We got that mile still paved, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 miles. I would think we could get that this fall yet. But yeah, that's the goal. Hall Pit is where I want to get the gravel that we have to add to do that, because it's right there. And he's kind of tied up cranking out rock for Doug yet. So we got to get that all scheduled in. But it's actually, construction-wise, we're in the 3rd week of September. I mean, it's not. It's snowed on, since I've had this job, it has snowed on the 13th of October. And thank God by noon it was 65 degrees and it all melted because it wasn't good. But there's still time to do a lot of stuff. I'm pretty comfortable yet.
The harvest hasn't even started.
I know. Oh yeah, and we got to be able to patch behind harvest and stuff like that. So.
Have you had the chance to talk to Mike Scott about the landfill road?
No, not
coordinate
since you and I talked
Okay.
about it. I haven't specifically, but.
Okay, we'll have to figure out a game plan for that too, I know.
Yeah, I don't know how much. I mean, we can maybe fluff it up a little bit this fall yet, but as far as doing something real substantial this fall, I don't see that happening. So, yeah, it's we'll have to see.
All right.
It actually didn't do so bad. We built that in 2001, so I mean, 15 years. It'd be nice to get more, but around here, that's not horrible.
You might as well wait till all that pipe's out of there before you do
Well,
much.
that's part of it too.
How's that road holding up coming in from 281 to the beef plant?
Fine. Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's.
They're bringing a lot of loads now, I wonder?
Well, if he's bringing in, what do you say, 500 a day?
600
that's-
they're up to.
You should take a count of that road sometime,
Okay,
see what it's doing.
12. So that's only 12
Wish we did, we
semi-loads.
should have had a count, we probably have a count on it from
Yeah.
before, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we should take a count on it, see how much it's increased.
That concrete's holding up nice.
Yep, sure is.
Any other questions for Dirk?
Yeah, that culvert by the bar up there in the west part is plugged. Can she
That
clean that?
north-south one?
That one that runs east and west there, right on the junction there, right on the south side.
Okay,
The water sits on the south side of the bar and won't flow east because the culvert's plugged in the east side.
okay. You
She
want
wants
us
to
to-
know if she can go clean it, or is that a no-no?
Well, she can go clean it. I mean, we could probably go clean it too now.
Well, it's whatever you want to do. I mean, I told her you can't clean it until you get permission from the town.
Well, that's a
county
good
culvert.
idea. That's a good idea. I guess my thought is if we put the culvert in right, it shouldn't matter who cleans it out if the culvert's in right. But let me talk to Kendall and see if we can swing up there and do it quick.
Evidently, I think it's just the silt from the west going east is just plugged the east side now, and it won't flow out. I think it's just on the east side is all it is. The silt and stuff has run through there over the years.
Yeah, there's a lot right in that with those pipes, and they're kind of low, all of them, So we'll take a look at it now. If not, I'll maybe. But geez, I can't imagine it'd be more than just going up and hit it with the pressure washer quick. Usually what we do, or is it?
Well,
we
I
got to
think
dig
you got
out?
to take some dirt out on the east side. I think the dirt is built up over.
Okay. We'll go look at it.
The afternoon that Tom's going to be working on bridges, maybe you could go up and
Swing by.
take some.
You can clean out the culvert.
Any other questions for Dirk? Well, thank you very much for the
You bet.
update. We appreciate
I'll
it.
have to go check that bridge.
Yeah, go look at it. It will be paved. It's got gravel on it now,
Uh-huh.
but next year it'll be paved. I don't know. I
Something
sure liked
different,
it.
huh?
I sure liked it. And
Didn't take long then either, did it?
no, actually they were only building the bridge like 13 days. The county screwed around for a week trying to get it open when they were done. But and the other thing with those is you can go a lot longer with single spans, which is nice for our streams around here than you can with concrete or precast concrete. And obviously, as you can imagine, trying to set a 100-foot long precast concrete beam versus a 40-foot long metal section is a lot easier. And part of it's the contractor doesn't have to. If you get out so big, we had to hire B&B to come assist the bridge contractor with their big crane because of the size of the components. When you get into this, it's so modular that you can pretty much do whatever you need to, and they do go out to 200, over 200-foot spans, single span, they said.
Yeah.
But you got to imagine the beam that's holding that thing's going to be that deep, and around here we call that a dam because it's going to be hanging in the water probably if it's that, you know, 'cause we don't have high bridges. So, but I like it.
What's the cost of that compared to another one?
I haven't looked apples to apples exactly, but I would say just from looking at some round figures, it's about 30,000-40,000 cheaper. And had I known that it could be put in that fast, we probably would have put a little more effort into coordinating it so that we could have taken advantage of how quickly it got put in. You know, they had it in here and out, and we were still, like I said, the county was down there cleaning up and trying to get our stuff together for another 10, 12 days probably. Otherwise, it'd have been real fast.
Interesting.
Next time you'll know that, right?
So it's $345 though is what the total price of that was. I don't have a comparable. I'd have to look to get a comparable
It was
precast one.
Just wondering, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
Anything else?
Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks a lot.
You guys have a great day.
You as well, thanks.
All right, that brings us to the end of our regular agenda. You want to work on your list, Maxine?
Yeah. The minutes from September 6th general.
Move it.
Moved by Fishback,
Second.
second by Sutton. Any discussion or questions on those minutes? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Claims and payroll.
You did pull one.
Okay.
You're going to wait on this until we get the handrails on the west
Okay.
entrance. But
Okay.
other than that, it
So
looked
let's
good.
just hold
I
that.
think that was the only one we questioned with.
Okay.
Move.
Moved by Feldheim,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Any questions on those? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The HR report.
Did everybody get a chance to read through that?
Move it.
Moved by Hanson,
Second.
seconded by Fishback. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The 114,750 grant money came, so I need a motion to increase the estimated revenue and spending authority for that grant for the Market Street.
I'll move it.
Hold on
That's
to
for
Market
this,
Street.
that's for this one out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second.
Moved by Sutton, seconded by Feldheim. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
There were 3 leases, one for the Expo building with Dakota Broadcasting, Richland Church, lease for a stage, and Wilkie lease for the youth camp. I believe that's for a wedding.
Were we leasing the stage out? I don't remember that we, that was part, is that part of the?
I think it was on
It was on
I
the
think it's on the
rental
list.
It
list.
is on the rental list? I
Yeah.
remember there was some discussion with the fair board not wanting to do that. So that's why I brought it up.
I think we still have it on there. If we don't, then we won't rent it, but if it's on the list.
I'll double check.
Move.
Moved by Feldheim,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Auditor's report of account. Move it.
Second.
Moved by Hanson, seconded by Fishback. Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Sheriff's reports for August.
Move it.
Moved by Fishback,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Questions on the sheriff's report? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
The highway safety grant, I need to approve and authorize chair to sign.
Move it.
Moved by Sutton,
Second.
seconded by Feldheim. Any discussion? That's the one Tom brought over, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
There was a change order 3R for the Market Street project. It didn't change any prices, it just defined who was doing what. Let's find out.
Yeah, we talked about that.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So nothing
That's it.
changed money-wise, just who was
Okay,
taking
I'd
care.
move that.
Moved by Fishback,
Second.
seconded by Sutton. Questions on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Did we do this regional
No.
thing?
It wasn't on the agenda, but this is just first reading for ordinance 103. It's a rezone. I'll just read it. Application has been made by Candace Whipple to the Brown County Board of Commissioners for a change of zoning. Hearing to be held in the Commissioner Chambers Courthouse Annex Brown County, South Dakota on September 20 at 8:45, but no one was here in regard to this, so I didn't break in. For the purpose of rezoning the following property from Chapter 406 Ag Preservation to Chapter 410 Lakefront Residential. It's Lot 2, Clipville subdivision in the north half southeast quarter of Section 8, 12361. The address is 10858 Rojoa's Place, and today is first reading. You would have second reading, possible adoption next Tuesday.
I'll move it.
Moved by Sutton,
Second.
seconded by Fishback. Any questions on that reason? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed nay. Motion carries.
Larry, we're not going to have a problem with that, because we did have it on the agenda.
It was published twice. Yeah.
And it was in the paper, yep.
Are you done with the United Way packet?
Did everybody get a chance to check out the packet? I think we're good.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay, Gary?
I sent you a note regarding the neighbor to the Millen Buildings looking to pave their parking lot now. I assume you still don't want to partner at this time with him to do something in that area? Okay, I'll let him know.
I don't think we need
No,
to.
my feelings have changed.
Sounds good. Diane Lear, Teen Court, also sent me a note regarding, she just wanted to let you all know that they received $15,000 from the court system for this year. That will be coming within the next 60 days, and then that also includes $6,000 for 2017. So
Within the 15 or 6,000?
another $6,000 additional in
Gotcha.
2017. Her only concern was with the 15 coming at so late in the year, if she'd maybe talk to them about getting some more next year versus this year, but it's a nice chunk of money anyway from the courts. So
Is that more than usual? Is this a new?
yeah, this is a new one, and she said she still has about $10,000 left in her budget for this year, and she'll use about $8,000 of that $10,000 for classes and stuff. So that'll be a nice chunk of money for her to have.
So this 15, is that Dawson at the end of the year for him, or can we,
That she didn't say. I'm not sure.
Max, how does that work?
I don't know. I haven't seen the notice.
Yeah,
of the
that's
board.
one of the things that she'll have to check, because like I said, she was even wondering if it'd be possible to extend some of that into next year versus getting it now, because she probably won't have a whole lot to spend it on.
Yeah.
When it comes in mid-November or something.
Did she give you a notice of award?
No.
Or any documentation?
No, not yet.
Okay.
She just wanted to make you aware that it had happened, because it's been asked about for a while already. So
I'd hate to get it to have to turn it back if you
That's
couldn't
what I'm
use it
wondering.
this fiscal year or so.
yeah, so she'll check more into that.
And is this highway safety money?
No,
or
this is the
from the Teen Court
this is
Association?
This is the court system that.
And before
that
we
happens.
finalize the budget, maybe there's something we could do to set that.
And I'll talk to her more about that too. But
We don't have
and,
long for
and she
that.
did mention, since you brought up the highway safety grant, that meeting's scheduled for November 18th to discuss the outcome for that. So.
Is that new funding something that looks to be continuous, or is this a one-year gift?
They had talked about just this year at the time, I think, but we'll see.
Okay. Any other questions on that? What else you got?
That's all I had.
Okay.
Did we get a signed racetrack agreement back yet from the Neuendorfs?
No. Was that sent to them?
I made my comments on it, and unless I knew it was going to be forwarded to them, but I never saw anything returned.
I thought you said you sent them a copy.
I sent them a copy, but it still had the highlighted areas, and I didn't know if they'd approved it, or have you visited with
They
them?
haven't talked to me at all about it, so.
Okay.
Do you want just
I'll
a
get in
clean
touch
copy?
with them.
And I think I sent out a clean copy. It's just a matter of what happened after that. I think everybody kind of went off for training and just lost track of it for now, so.
I'll follow up with them and see, because they made it sound like they were gonna just sign it and send it in for
Oh,
approval,
okay.
so for our approval, so,
Okay.
but I'll double check.
We were absent from our meeting last week because we had our annual South Dakota Association of County Commissioners Convention, and I just wanted to recognize our own Commissioner Dwayne Sutton got reelected as president of our state association, so we appreciate all the work you do for them. And I guess the biggest part is just having a voice as far as the legislative priorities go, you know, having you on that exec board, so thanks for all the time you put into that.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else from Max, Gary, anybody in attendance? Yeah.
I just had a question for Gary. Did the matter we discussed yesterday make it into the HR report?
No, it did not.
Okay. Could I just touch base with you on something?
Yep.
I've got an employee that needs to go in for surgery here first part of November, and the doctors tell her that it'll be 4 to 6 weeks before she's back in operation. She's in charge of the magistrate court stuff, and as you can imagine, there's just stuff that's, just piles up every day. And so what I'm looking for is authority just to hire a part-time person or temp person for 60 days to kind of come in maybe a week or so before to get kind of trained and then fill in the gap. We haven't filled this part-time position in part because we wanted to fund that summer intern, and that's done. We wanted to have some of that money just in case our expenses for the murder trial got out of control, and we would just propose to use that funding for the 60-day kind of part-time thing. It's going to be, we won't be able to find somebody that can just step in and do what they do. It's pretty technical stuff, but if we can find somebody that'll come in and do some of the less technical stuff for all the other support staff, then they can take turns doing some of the more technical stuff that needs doing. And so the balance I want to strike is I want to make good use of the temp, but I also don't want to have them just coming in and not having something to do. So there may be a mixture of a little overtime and a little temporary substitution to kind of cover this 60 days or 45 days, whatever it's going to end up. So I just need to have you think about giving me authority to do that, and then we'll just kind of go ahead and find somebody to be in place sometime around, I think when the pay period starts on October 23rd would be kind of the start date we're looking at to talk about. And I don't know if we need to advertise something or if we just do a temporary hire a temp from an agency or what we do, but that's up to Gary, I guess.
Yeah, we can, there's a couple of other options there. I mean, at the fair we used that express staffing service here in town. That seemed to work pretty well. I mean, kind of hate to advertise for a temp for 60 days to have a part-time position to hire and then let them go right away, but so it might be a better option just to use a service of some kind for that.
Be cheaper in the long run,
I think
not
so,
have to
too.
advertise or anything, I think.
Seems to make more sense, so.
And it's not like we're hiring anything for long term.
No.
Is your budget able to handle that?
I think so. Like I said, we're not, I wouldn't plan to hire anybody to fill the part-time attorney position. We'll leave that for Chris to decide how he wants to organize the office. So between now and the end of the year, that'll still be there. And other than that, our budget's looking pretty good, even with the cost of the trial. So.
Okay. Any questions? I don't know if it'd be a good fit, but with winter coming, we do have some changing in staff and some things to decide as far as some of our regular employees go, so we can look at some of those options as well. So maybe we take it up again next week. And any thoughts?
It's a good idea.
Okay. Anything else? All right, anything from those in attendance? Appreciate you guys coming. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Moved by Sutton.
Second.
Seconded by Feldheim. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We're adjourned.